的な魔王が降臨した君も一緒に飛び込もう
Cyberdimension Neptunia, Four Goddesses Online, is the latest spin-off in the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. Wow, I feel like I say that sentence a lot when reviewing these games. This game also marks the very first Neptunia spin-off on the PlayStation 4 over the PlayStation Vita, and for good reason too. This is the first game in the series that makes use of the Unreal Engine 4, and the amount of detail in the visuals show. So, how does this spin-off hold up to the others? The Hyperdimension Neptunia series is best known for parodying the JRPG genre, and delves into parodying other genres in many of its different spin-off titles. This time around, the game takes a stab at parodying the MMO genre. The CPUs of game industry are invited to beta test the in-game MMORPG Four Goddesses Online, the latest installment in a popular in-universe MMO series. The purpose of this in-game game is to resurrect the four goddesses with the sacred treasures before the evil Demon King can use the treasures for evil. I don't know what it is about Compile Heart lately, but their writing has been on point. 4GO's writing is probably some of the funniest in the series to date. While the main story itself is nothing too special, the writing and all of the interactions between characters is rather enjoyable. Since the game is taken from the perspective of people playing an MMO, it leads to a lot of writing that parodies a lot of things you'd see while playing online. I would often find myself reading through every optional scene because of how much I enjoyed the writing and the interaction between the characters. Since this is the first game in which the CPUs are not being rivals, but instead working together from the start, it has a much more charming atmosphere to it, and you get to see how they treat each other behind the scenes differently from the normal games. Gameplay-wise, 4GO plays much like other Tamsoft-made Neptunia games. It's a hack-and-slash game where you have to go through hordes of different enemies. However, the only different thing is, the game is broken into different dungeons similar to that of the mainline series, as opposed to separate levels as you progress through the story. Like an MMO, you take on several different quests from a guild, and you have to explore the many different dungeons to fulfill the different objectives. Each of the characters you play as have different abilities similar to what you may find in any MMO. You have your healer class, tank class, rogue class, and many more to follow. When playing offline, it's best to find the right combination of classes to suit the situation at hand. Now on to combat. The combat in the game is pretty simple. You press the X button to perform standard attacks, and you can press the right trigger to guard against enemy attacks, and if you manage to guard with correct timing, you can perform a parry and take no damage. Parrying comes in handy quite often, and more so against boss monsters, so be sure to learn a monster's attack pattern so you know the best time to guard. You also have many different special attacks that can add attributes to your party's attacks or perform special moves. You even have a special meter that you can build up to do massive damage, similar to EXE moves. The game's combat overall is a massive improvement over that of Megatagmention Blonde and Action U, as the inclusion of specialized classes add a lot more variety for people to try, and leads to a ton of potential playstyles for people to use. When it comes to the AI of this game, it's pretty good in most situations. You have the ability to set the AI to many different settings that best suit the battle at hand. If you're in a tight spot and want to make sure everyone makes it through, you can always tell your party to defend themselves, or if you want, you can tell the party to act like they would based on their personality. There are many different settings for you to pick from depending on the situation, which is good and made up for the fact when I wasn't playing online. I should mention that Blonde is a really good healer, because man, if you go down, you have to start the entire dungeon all over again. The online aspect of this game is similar to that of Megatagmention Blonde. However, this time around you can create or join a guild of other players to do guild quests online. This more or less plays the same as you would in the single player, except that instead of having AIs to control, you have other players. To be honest, the online can be a lot of fun, and at times feels like it's an actual MMO. Visually, 4GO is a real treat to look at. The many different dungeon designs are very unique and filled with life, and creates a visually good-looking experience all around. This is a massive step in the right direction for the series, as previous entries normally had a bad habit of reusing old dungeons to pad things out. This time around, all the dungeons look and feel unique, and feel like places I would see in an actual MMO. The soundtrack for this game is also something special as well. The many different tracks fit every world and event, and are just really good to listen to. By far, this game may have the best OST in the series, as none of the tracks feel samey or feel like they were cut from the same cloth. The only downside of this game's presentation is the constant frame rate dips. Even using the PlayStation 4 Pro, I noticed quite a bit of slowdown in some areas when there's a lot of monsters on screen, or when there's many different particle effects going off, or if a boss is using a special move. While still playable, these frame dips really took me out of the otherwise fast-paced action. Another performance problem I noticed were quite a few bugs in this game. An example of these would be when fighting a boss managed to phase out of the map and then teleport to another random spot in the arena. I have heard of some people experiencing game crashing bugs, but thankfully I have yet to run into any of these issues myself. The final issue I had with this game is the fact you are unable to pause this game. Yes, I know, they were going for the MMO feeling of you can't pause an online game, but when playing offline you should be able to pause the game. This gets more annoying of how many menus you have to shift through at times in trying to switch out party members, or just trying to find out your current quest objective. Overall, Cyberdimension Neptunia 4 Goddesses Online is everything an online Neptunia game should be. The game has creative writing, an enjoyable combat system, and fantastic visuals to boot. The only thing really holding the game back is the amount of performance issues tied to the game. Outside of that, you have a really enjoyable spin-off of a lovable series. If this game is going to set the groundwork for how future games look and feel, I'm excited to see what the future holds for the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. And that does it for our review. To see the written review, be sure to check out our website, gaminggamma.com. A link to that review will be down in the description bar below. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them. I love hearing from you guys. Also, if you're new to my channel, hey, be sure to subscribe for future Let's Plays, reviews, commentaries, and more. And if you really love what I do, you can go check out my Patreon. Every bit helps. Also, if you're already subbed, be sure to click on that bell to be notified when my next review is live. And as always everyone, thanks for watching.